So I won't invest in anybody else's companies is one hard-learned lesson. The second one is I will never have partners again. Now I'm talking 50-50 partners.
Right.
I might have one of my key players, have a equity stake, or I offer growth stock to all of my team members, but I'm in control. Right. I will never have 50-50 partner relationships again. And I had to learn that the hard way. And I had some excellent partner relationships,
right,
but I had some horrible ones
right,
as well. And partnerships, it's not a matter of if, it's only a matter
right,
of when. When you have two human beings who are living two separate movies, two separate lives,
right,
there's going to come a point, even if there's a love fest in the beginning and you agree on everything in the beginning, there your spouses, and then there's in-laws, and then there's greed, and it's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when that it's going to go bad. So and a lot of times people choose to do partnerships because of fear.
Right.
They don't have the confidence enough to do it themselves.
Exactly. Or they're wanting kind of something for nothing. It's back to,
right,
I'm hoping to get more than I can give.
Right.
So
and I want to ride on your bandwagon
exactly,
and your coattails. And
I'm in agreement. Here's the other thing, and I have several people I give this advice to. They have a company, they have a great team, and they feel like they have to attract people by giving them equity. And as you know, at my company, I had profit sharing. And I had some $15 an hour people making six figures through profit sharing, but they weren't equity partners.
Right.
And what happens, people, get cancer, people go through divorces, things happen. And again, there's legal things that can happen. So I'm a big believer in profit sharing.
I agree.
And things like that.
Wholeheartedly.
But, and the thing is, when you own the company, you're going to have to deal with the bad, right? The good and the bad. Sometimes these partners won't deal with the bad.
Right.
You're the only one writing the check when something bad happens.
Right. I hope people hear that.
I do too.
Because
it's huge.
They get into partnerships because they think it's going to be.
But it's usually a little bit of a greed factor. They want something for nothing, right?
Or fear. Yeah. It's greed or fear.
Greed.
There's fear. I don't think I can do it myself, so I feel.
It's very similar to the joint venture conversation we had, right? You're hoping to get something more than you have confidence you can build on your own.
Right. True. Yeah, but the dynamics of the psychological, emotional dynamics over time of a partnership is undoubtedly going to go bad.
So we talked about Paul J. Meyer going to his funeral, and we both had the conversation, Jim's not feeling well. Jim Rohn was not doing well. And I think that played into this tribute video that, Reed and Stuart and yourself and I, decided to put together for Jim before he passed. And it was incredible to have Zig and Brian and, all of Jim's peers, but also people that used to work with him, some good friends, his accountant, this group of people over 4 days of filming in Dallas and Los Angeles. Yeah. And I got to deliver that to him a month before he passed.
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
You're the guy that made that happen. You're the guy that pulled that off. And that was all your work. That was a tremendous amount of work on your part.
Well, I will say it was a group effort. And then the memorial itself, which was a couple of months later, where Tony Robbins and Brian and Dennis and yourself, right? That was a very special moment. So just talk a little bit about Jim's passing and the tribute. And again, when I think of having sold the companies in 2007, and most people don't know, I had owned Jim Rohn International.
Right.
That's a whole long story. But one of the things I was really grateful for when I think about selling was the vision you guys at Success had to honor Jim with this memorial. Yeah. I don't think, I really, being honest, I don't think I would have had that vision.
Right.
Because Jim was a very private guy. I honored that privacy. And I just don't think I would have gone there. And it turned out to be something people still talk about today.
Jim, as I told you, had a profound impact in my life. And one of the things that's in the dedication of the compound effect, which is dedicated to Jim, because essentially it's his fundamental, philosophy that I practiced and then come to re-communicate. And he taught me, talk about things that matter to people who care. And at that tribute and going into it, I made a commitment that I will help carry the torch of Jim Rohn. That, first of all, I will give credit where credit's due. He was a source code for me. He was the guy that was there when I needed it the most. I'm not saying he's the Messiah or Jesus Christ or anything. I'm just saying he was the guy I resonated with. He's the guy that communicated what I needed to hear at a time I needed to hear it, and has been a comfort and a reminding and a flushing source. I listen to his material to this day. It is like going home. It's like when you go home for the holidays, re-listening to Jim is just a grounding experience for me. And I'm not saying it's for everybody. Jim's not for everybody, right? I remember the first time I heard him, like, what is that voice about? That's annoying. And now it is a song. It's a familiar song that harkens back the best of me. So and going into that tribute, I just made a commitment. I will help carry the torch of Jim Rohn and his material. And a lot of people say, hey, you're whenever they associate me with Jim or his work, I'm like, Jim was the OG. Jim's the original gangster. There will never be another like Jim. He was the master. He was the orator. All I want to do is to continue to amplify what he brought to the world. I'm doing what I'm doing and communicating what I'm communicating in my way, but I'm telling you, a lot of that source material is right from the good man himself. And Jim would say the same. He would say that, this stuff is ancient. These philosophies, these fundamentals are old, right? I'm not manufacturing new antiques. So, that tribute cemented for me. It's like, I'm going to do everything I can to continue to carry the torch, to be a beacon of ongoing influence for Jim and his work. And I'm not the only one. He's affected, thousands of people's lives, and you're doing it, and others are also continuing to remind people about his influence. But,
Well, I think he's bigger than he's ever been today. And part of it, you mentioned 1.5 billion people you're reaching, and you always talk about Jim. I recently saw Tony Robbins, and Tony will tell stories of people he coaches, Bill Clinton or an Olympian. But the only person he actually gives credit to of being an influence that I heard was Jim, and it's multiple times. Eric Worre, Hal Elrod, this huge list of people, Robert Helms. But, I'll always say that, because of Darren, because of Tony, because of these group of people, I can meet millennials and they know who Jim Rohn is, right? And so I really appreciate everyone. And of course, no one's going to do it if it's not authentic, right?
Exactly.
It's the real story.
Tony's doing it because it's true.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
It's true. And so it's amazing to see the impact Jim's having.
Yeah.
So Darren, you've written multiple books, right? The Compound Effect probably being one of the more popular ones in the entrepreneurial roller coaster.
Sold over 1 million copies.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So are you ambitious to do another book anytime soon?
No. Books hard.
Books are done. They are.
Yeah, it's hard. No, tip for people who are in the personal development world that I learned from Paul J. Meyer. So I have to credit him with this. He said, look, you can take intellectual property and you can put it into a book and sell it for $15. You can put it into an audio training program and you can sell it for $50. You can put it into audio with DVDs at the time, and you could sell it for
$500,
$250. Yeah, $500, right? Or you could put it into an academy system, and you could sell it for $5,000.
Right.
Same material, same information.
So true.
Just repackaged into different, formats. And so, why would I take new art and put it into the least valuable medium, which is a book? Now, if I didn't have a book, then you should have a book. Okay. But I got a book.
Right.
And the interesting thing about the Compound Effect is the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster was my second book. And when I saw how successfully impactful the Compound Effect was like, well, shit, I kind of just put it together. I'm really going to work at this next one. I'm going to really make it great. It didn't have the same lightning in a bottle impact that the Compound Effect did. And it did. We sold 100,000 copies in 2 weeks, but that was sheer marketing.
Right.
But the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster book is like most books. If you're not marketing it, it's not selling.
But we'll say this, it is a niche, but that niche is your audience.
Yeah.
So it's the right audience for you.
Right. without promoting the compound effect, it continues to sell on its own.
Right.
And that is a rarity in books.
Right.
If you're not promoting it, you're not selling it. But that has taken a life of its own. So I already got it. Now I just need to double down on it.
And I'll say the audio book or the audio series,
yeah.
Compound Effect, I've listened to 50 times.
Yeah.
Amazing stories. And I've stayed away from a lot of that in this podcast because people are familiar with that. But if they're not, definitely go get the Compound Effect, the book, and the audio is incredible.
Yeah, I personally, obviously, I like the audio version of everything because you hear the person feel and express it rather than just read words on
And
page.
you talk about Jim's influence, but it is totally your story. I mean, you have so many vignettes, right? And just stories that just really hit home.
Yeah.
Well done. Truly well done.
Thank you.
I've always said Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, and Darren. I mean, those are the three biggest influence of what I don't listen to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I keep mine pretty honed in.
I do that too. I isolate my attention, and I'd rather rinse and repeat and make something deeper than to get a bunch of scattered voices in my head.